Yeah, 55 minutes.
Amazing. I was more than happy with that trade.
Everybody's just crying like babies. It's emotional.
Oh, that loyalty bullshit. Man got paid 140 million.
What's that?
I don't know. Was it for all those playoff appearances when he played like a $5 million play? Did the organization ask for the money back? That's my point, right?
Ready when you are?
Mm-hmm. All right, guys, welcome back to On the Block. It's been a while. Lamar, Igor, Kawhi Leonard is now a Toronto Raptor, and DeMar DeRozan's gone. A lot of Raptors fans are not happy about this. I'm not really sure why. Obviously, DeMar meant a lot to the city, and he's been here for 9 years. But how would you guys grade the trade? Do you think that Messiah aced this, or was it he's going to regret it?
Based on what the reports were on the original trade, I was against the idea based on the fact that it looked like they would have to deal OG and Siakam as part of some kind of package.
And possibly at first.
The package that they gave up was more than fair. DeMar had a shot for 9 years. There was this whole loyalty situation. I'm not really buying it. He was paid like a star player. It's not an Isaiah Thomas situation where the organization screwed him over. He was getting paid a pretty penny. Come the playoffs, same situation almost every year. So, and that's just that's just throwing that out there. Kawhi's a top 5 player when he's healthy. Jakob was probably the 5th best young player and a protected first. For a guy, even if it's for 1 year of Kawhi, the team needed to rebuild. They got out of DeRozan's contract. If for some miracle they can keep him here, it would be great, but I doubt it. All in all, the team needed a shakeup. Masai had some courage, and I would grade the trade as an A for the Toronto Raptors. They got the best player in the deal.
No matter what happens?
Again, no matter what happens, because the team needed a shakeup. I've been saying it for 3-4 years now. The team was not going to win with the current core. They got out of DeRozan's money. They can use that at some point. Even when LeBron gone, like that doesn't make any difference because the Celtics are stacked. Philly was stacked. They needed someone to get another echelon, and that's how it went down. Danny Green's underrated. He's going to help the squad. Again, backup center's a little bit of a situation for them. But if Kawhi plays at his capabilities, it's an absolute A for the Raptors. For San Antonio, they knew he was going to come back. DeRozan's a nice piece. He'll complement Aldridge. Will they do much in the West? No. Jakob will help out. Spurs got something for him. Probably the Lakers weren't willing to give up all that much for him.
The best package they could have
The
got.
best package they could have gotten because the Lakers know or think they're going to get him in a year. The Clippers don't have the assets. So again, I can't see this being anything but a win for the Raptors, at least this year. And again, they were going to have to rebuild eventually anyway. So this is like a 1-year win for the Raptors guaranteed.
The only thing
If he
is,
plays healthy.
it's not even, it's not if he plays, he will play. It's just if this injury becomes, maybe he re-aggravates it or something, right? That's the only thing.
That's the risk.
And that's a risk. And that's why
A for the Raptors.
Yeah, as of now, we'll leave it as an A until something else happens. Lamar, you've been waiting.
We were close to really agreeing for one of the first times. We've agreed a couple of times, but man, I can't allow you to get away with the sentence of for 3 or 4 years I wanted to break up. That's an absolute lie. Let me finish. I gave you your mic, right? Okay. You were totally and completely obsessed with DeRozan, the Raptors, and Larry. For 3 years, I told you that they were fool's gold, and you argued with me. The only time you said it's time to blow it up was the year
Indiana series.
That was 3 years ago.
What do you mean 3 years ago?
That was years ago.
No. Was after this playoffs.
No, the Paul George situation. We've been talking about rebuilding the team for 3 years.
No. Because remember when we were here arguing when I told you that they needed to get rid of. No, it was last year. I apologize because you were saying to keep it back and I said he was garbage. Remember when we were arguing about that last year? So I apologize. So last year was the first time you started saying it's time to rebuild. Yeah, it wasn't 3-4 years. I just want to make sure clear. Okay, last year. All right, that's number one. That's very clear. Number two, where I'll say that we're on the same side, is I agree that it's. Maybe not for all the same reasons we agree, but I agree that it needed to be done. I agree. I think that DeRozan's going on to greener pastures to me. So it's not like we sent him to Sacramento. I don't agree with the loyalty thing because when Vince left, for over a decade, people are booing him. They can't let it go. I can't be a hypocrite and get mad at LeBron for calling him disloyal, but then say it's okay for Celtics to treat Isaiah the way they did, or for Toronto to treat DeRozan the way he did. So I'm not going to fully.
What did they do? How did they treat him?
What I'm saying is that, what I'm saying is that he
Which
played for the. Well, are you talking about Isaiah or DeRozan?
No, I'm talking about Isaiah's clear because Isaiah lost hundreds of millions of dollars.
Okay, perfect.
But DeRozan, how were they disloyal?
No, but I'm saying
by stating that they might trade him. They've been trying to trade him for years.
No, that's not true because when they offer him the contract, if he were to rent over to LA. It would have been disloyal. Yeah. Like Hayward when he went to Boston.
Well, hold on. But again, you're throwing in that the Raptors could offer him more money than LA could based on the fact that he's with the team.
Do you think that's the reason he stayed with Toronto?
It's quite a possibility. Same with Kyle.
What's a possibility?
The Raptors could offer
just like Kawhi this offseason. No one can offer Kawhi more money than the Raptors.
Okay.
So the same thing with DeRozan. When DeRozan was a free agent, the Raptors could offer him the most money, and they did. He was getting paid almost $30 million a year.
Hold on. There's two things. DeRozan never would have became the player he was if the Raptors didn't give him a chance and stuck with him. I'm not disagreeing with that.
Okay.
But I'm not taking out of the equation that you are. I'm going to get to my point, but I'm going to pretend I don't have my point. They traded away a guy that was loyal for a guy that's possibly 90%, in my opinion, leaving. That's not disloyal to you. It's different even if Kawhi was under a 2-year contract. Okay. You have 2 years to convince him. I'd say no problem.
But what side of the fence are you on here?
No, I'm saying no. I have to state a point that I'm not going to pretend that they weren't disloyal. So I'm saying that you need to trade him. I'm going to tell you why right now. I can't pretend like you're making it look like forget disloyal and all that stuff. No, there was disloyal what they did to him.
I don't see
okay, fine. Okay, fine.
They made a trade. They didn't sell him out for nothing. They greener pastures, like you said. They didn't screw him over. How did they screw him over?
They traded him for a guy that tells
who's the better player.
What does it matter if he's the better player? He's not going to stay here.
Well, at the end, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, they needed to get away from that core.
That's where
they traded him for one shot this year to try to make the finals.
That's not what's happening. I don't even think he's going to finish the season. But let me tell you what I think.
Yeah,
okay, fine. So what I'm saying is that because of Lowry, only because of Lowry and the contract they gave him, we can't have two guys we're paying $100 million plus that are fool's gold. Nobody on earth is taking Lowry's contract. So we got to get rid of DeRozan. So if we get rid of DeRozan and get value, we split up the best friends because that friendship is what destroyed the whole Raptors anyway. That was buddy friendship. Yeah. Okay. So now when Kawhi leaves, because he will, Lowry isn't going to be a part of a rebuilding season. So then he'll be more willing to do a buyout. Now we have
he'll be an expiring contract after next year anyways.
They won't buy Lowry.
They won't buy him all.
They won't buy Lowry.
An expiring contract.
How many years does he have left?
He's only got 2 years left.
This year one more?
That's it.
Okay, well the point is
perfect.
Okay, yeah.
Perfect for the rebuild.
So we're off the exactly. That's the reason I'm okay with it. But it was disloyal, but they have to think of what it's disloyal. I don't care what you say.
Why was it disloyal though? How did they do him dirty?
So you're saying
how did they do him dirty? I don't understand how they trade. They made an NBA trade.
Lowry's DeRozan isn't seeing it the way that you and me are seeing it. He's seeing it as you're trading me when I could have went other places or people wanted me and I stayed for a guy who does not want to be here, who's leaving. Well, I want to be here, but he doesn't, and you're trading me for him.
Okay, so you put it to the fact that DeRozan stayed here based on the fact that he was loyal. He got paid the most he could have been paid. Again, it's all about results. DeMar DeRozan in the playoffs every single year.
That's true.
Every single year. Yeah. So how are you expecting the organization to stay loyal to you when it comes to crunch time and you can't deliver? That's all it was, man. They don't make this trade. If DeMar DeRozan comes off of a season where they don't get swept by the Cavaliers, they never make this trade because he's evolving as a player. He's hit the plateau. It's a wrap.
Can I ask you a question? Yes. If you have a girlfriend and you treat her wrong and she cheats on you, are you saying she's not disloyal?
We had this discussion.
She's not disloyal?
No, we actually.
Answer the question.
No, I brought that up.
Okay, answer the question.
So my example was, and Jay saw it because Jay says I brought it back to whatever. I'm in high school. I'm in I have an average girlfriend in an average relationship. It's not anything special. It's not really going anywhere. The prom queen all of a sudden breaks up with her boyfriend. She wants to date me. Do I shoot for the stars or stick with average knowing that I'm not going to be happy with what I'm getting? Me, I shoot for the stars all day, baby.
I understand.
All day.
This is subjective too, though.
Yeah, it's subjective.
But I'm going to tweak it because that's not reality. The reality is you have a girlfriend who you're committed to long term. You love her, you care for her,
and
then a girl.
Average.
No,
the love's not average. The love's strong. The love's strong.
The organization
Why
obviously
can't I
didn't
give
look.
my example? You're hogging the mic. Let me say my example. If you have a girl that you're in love with long term,
Sure.
she may not be the best out of all of them, then the prom queen thinks you're cute. She tells you that I think you're cute, but I'm not looking for nothing. I just want you as a booty call. You dump your long-term girl for a girl that is telling you she won't be with you long-term?
If I'm really not in love with the other one, hell yeah.
But they do
But
like
you are in love.
DeRozan.
But you are in
They
love.
do like DeRozan.
Then why they trade him?
Because Kawhi's better than him. It's not because they think he's
So
garbage.
there you go. So they brought him up.
But he
when they had a
doesn't want-
chance to upgrade, they upgraded.
I'm okay with that, but the fact is that he does not want to be here. He will not be. If he pulls a Paul George,
Okay.
I'll be the first one saying okay.
Okay, so
but
then-
that's not. He's
So
not
then
saying.
so who they trade him for assets, young assets, and get on the rebuild anyway.
Who's assets?
Here's the thing.
And you say he's good.
There's
I'm
a difference between
I'm thinking, here's the thing, what's the trend? And people don't really know how this will play out. I do not think that if the LA Lakers are having a good season, that they come to the trade deadline, think that if they can get Kawhi over the top, they won't call the Raptors asking for Kawhi
course, yeah.
because LeBron James is not getting any younger.
Yeah.
So again, can you get a couple first rounders off of them? Sure.
No
Can you
way.
get one of the young guys? You
They'll get
probably
Ingram
can.
and maybe one.
You
pick.
yeah, first because they're going to be
Then
good
there
for
you
a
go.
long time.
Well,
They're
and
gonna be good for years.
and there goes the rebuild anyway. So now you have DeRozan's money gone. You got Ingram. You got a couple of picks. You can make that work. You can pretty much do what the Boston Celtics did back in the day and rebuild the
But
team.
you're preaching to the choir on that. We're talking about one thing. DeRozan and the people initially when they see it, when you open your score app and you saw that it was a trade,
Yes.
is you traded me for a guy who does not want to be here. That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about all that other stuff. I'm on your side.
Okay.
We needed to rebuild. Before you're pretending years. No, it was just that last year. But after, last year playoff. But you're pretending by that. But we need to rebuild. I'm all about
Yes,
that.
yes.
But you traded me, who's been loyal, who's been an all-star, fool's gold, but you guys thought he was real all-stars. Went to the Worlds, won a gold medal for Raptors. I mean, well, he's representing us, right?
Team
He's representing us.
USA,
No, but he's representing us, right? He got minutes. He had the
My
highlight of the whole.
grandfather,
He had the highlight of the whole Olympics.
Which was that?
The 360 that he missed.
Oh, the layup? On
The
the
360 dunk that he
on
missed.
the
That's
Asian
correct.
team, right?
That he missed. Not that's what took his
Yeah.
playoffs.
That's all everyone was talking about.
That's pretty much
Well,
like his
okay,
playoffs.
so you done your point, right? Because I want to ask a
Yeah,
question.
go
So,
ahead.
a lot of people, when this trade went down, Twitter, Instagram, I feel like there's a lot of females and emotional dudes that were hurt in this trade. And I'm not gonna lie, that's what it was, right? Because if you're at your job right now and you've been there for 6 years, you've been there for 5 years, whatever, you're a decent employee, and then all of a sudden someone comes along and they say, hey, you know what? This person's been doing their job better. We're going to promote you instead of them, or we're going to lose your job over you. At the end of the day, it's a business move, right? And what I have to put this blame on, I hate to say it, because I haven't been like a blind sheep in this DeMar DeRozan fan base. I still appreciate what he's done. I've said that before. And I love him for what he's become as a player. And Ron brought that up, or Don said that I haven't been the biggest DeRozan fan. But I appreciate what he's done. Same thing with Lowry, because both those guys came in here with lower ceilings than we thought that they had. They both exceeded expectations. But like you guys have said, I want to go through those 5 years of playoffs. Round one, Brooklyn. Sorry, year one, Brooklyn, when they lost in Game 7. Year 2 was a sweep against Washington. Year 3 was the one where I first had my tickets, where they beat Indiana in the first round, went 7, beat Miami in the second round, went 7, had Bismack and lost in 6 games to Cleveland. Last year, I don't remember who they beat in the first round. Milwaukee got swept by Cleveland. This year, eke out a first round series because Otto Porter Jr. goes down, or else I would have went 7 against Washington, gets swept in the next round. So I have to look at DeMar and Kyle in the face if I'm Masai and say, guys, like he said, I gave them every opportunity. And what he was saying in that press conference is, you could tell that he wanted to clean house when he got here. We talked about the Kyle trade to the Knicks that did not go down, not on his part. Dolan or whoever it was shut that down. He wanted Kyle the first year to get a first round pick, and he would have shopped DeMar in the next year because the writing was on the wall. What you saw before and what we saw maybe a year later, that they were fool's gold, he saw that right away. Yeah. But he said, you know what? Casey's a great guy. DeMar's loyal. He's a great guy. Kyle's made some strides. Let's run with this for 2 or 3 years. It didn't work out. Not every marriage, not every friendship ends in sunshine and rainbows. So I do have to give Masai credit for actually having the guts to pull the trigger on a trade like this, because the fan base is so torn. But what they're failing to recognize is you have a top 5 player in the NBA. And even if the Lakers could trade anybody except LeBron, whether that be Ingram and 2 other guys, they're getting better. If you trade, no matter what team you're trading, unless it's like Anthony Davis, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, or LeBron James, you're getting better. You're improving your team. So the Raptors here, like there was that meme I sent you guys where it says, culture change. Fans say yes. Then they say, oh, we lose in the playoffs every year. We need some trades. They make a trade. All these questions keep getting answered by what you would want, and then it comes and it's like, damn, what did you do? So I think that, and like I told you, I think that this team has potential to get to the finals.
No way.
That's fine. You can disagree with that, but like I feel like everybody else says otherwise. They're the second best team in the East now, and at worst case, they're the third best team in the East.
Yeah.
You disagree?
No, yeah, I'm just saying
Boston's
Boston's
better.
better. That's what I'm saying.
Boston sweeps them with Kawhi. This
With
isn't
Kawhi,
this.
they won one game.
Oh, I don't know
Wow.
about that one.
Why are you still
That's
down?
a lot of
Your
ifs
guy
and
that
buts.
you,
Down
the
on
guy that you
Boston
get
is my
in
team. I told you what they can do. Boston took
That's a lot
Cleveland.
of-
Boston took Cleveland to Game 7 without their 2 stars. And now they have their 2 stars. Raptors couldn't win one.
Are the
Kawhi
Raptors
is
not a better
4-game
team
difference.
than Cleveland was last year? You thought Cleveland was
Kawhi-
trash.
No, are you talking about Raptors?
Cleveland last year. So Cleveland beat Boston in 7.
Yeah.
The Raptors were afraid of LeBron James. Anybody else, they
You
would
put
put
it-
up a better fight easily.
No.
Kawhi's the
Indiana put up Game 7. Indiana would have beat the Raptors.
Exactly, the Raptors.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. But now they have
So
Kawhi.
I understand Kawhi's a good player, but Kawhi alone isn't the difference maker.
You don't
for
think he's
guys.
going to set the tone in the locker room? That there's going to be no more BS?
Offense,
He's a quiet guy. He's not this guy that says, "Okay, guys, we're gonna do this."
The Ra-
Of course, he's a good
The
guy in the
Raptors,
system
the
because
Raptors were already a good defense.
Okay, you guys will see. You'll see.
No, that's fine. But you know that you don't have to be vocal to
I
send a
understand, but you
message.
guys will
right?
see.
Oh
I
yeah,
understand.
Boston will really depend on how does Hayward come back. How does
But they can
Kyrie
beat anybody
come back?
except Boston, right? You agree with that?
We'll see what Philly does. I don't know.
Philly got
There's a lot of guys. I like Indiana. I really like Indiana.
Again, it'll be competitive. It all depends on what kind of level Kawhi's at. But I agree with you. If you're at a job and your job's paying you half the amount of money and you're not delivering,
Your severance
they're
package
they're
or
gonna
whatever
they're
it
gonna
is.
get rid of you and bring somebody else in. It's not them being disloyal. It's them they're paying you a large amount of money for results and you're not getting the results. And again, the regular season, all this other hubbub. The results come into playoffs, and when it came to playoff time, you can't tell me that DeMar DeRozan in any of those was a star player. There's not many players in the NBA that are all-stars that get benched in a playoff
And then
series
get ejected right after.
and get ejected the next day and after. It's crazy.
I'm not against you guys, but this is the part I don't like that DeRozan's seeing, that I'm feeling what he's feeling. Is that when they were doing good, and I told you they were fool's gold, you guys and Jurassic Park in them were acting like they were gods. They were acting like they were real all-stars, and I told you they weren't real all-stars. And then, yes, you
always
thought they were
said-
real all-stars, but we'll pretend you didn't. Then, because I remember I was joking,
Remember,
saying
I
that
always
Justin
said that
Bieber
Cleveland
said
would
Paul
beat
Lowry,
them.
and I told
I
you
always
guys
said
that.
Cleveland would beat them.
That's true. You're a LeBron fan. You're definitely a closet LeBron witnesser, but you were
He's not
obsessed with-
closeted anymore, though.
What kind of? He doesn't really come out and say it, but whatever. But the point is that you guys were obsessed.
Look at Boston series.
No, okay, listen. But you guys were obsessed, and a lot of Canada were riding thinking that they were real all-stars, and then in their eyes, it's like, okay, we lost, and you're turning on me. I get it, but the point was they were never that good. They did good regular season. Teams come here, they take their lax, and they get a good record,
move
and
on.
they smoke. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You
But
move
they're not
on,
seeing it
so-
that way. And the same thing you guys are doing now, I'm hearing people actually thinking that Kawhi and the Raptors are going to the finals, which is a joke. It's an absolute joke to me that you guys even have entertained that in your mind. How many games do you think the Lakers are going to win this year?
The Lakers?
Yeah, with your witness, you're going to say something like 50, right? They're going to get, that team is not even good.
I mean,
They're in the
again,
West,
they-
you actually
they-
think they're going to
that's
win 50
better.
games.
That's
They
better.
make
I
the
mean, they
playoffs,
got-
though. They'll make the
They're
playoffs.
gonna make the playoffs, and
Maybe
not to
he thinks
mention
they're gonna win
he's-
50 games this
He's
year.
probably
I know
got
him.
a better squad than he had in Cleveland last year.
He does.
So you think they're going to win?
But
Doesn't
just they're
matter,
the
they're
West,
playing Western
that's the thing,
teams
they're the
4
West.
times.
I don't know what the situation is, who they're gonna bring in. If they're gonna bring in anybody else, that team can probably win 45 to 50 games. Why not?
They're not winning 50 games.
Now, how much did they win last year? 30 some odd.
They played the Western
Like,
Conference teams twice.
Okay.
They played Eastern
They
4
won
times.
30. They won like
Now they're gonna
35,
play-
37 last year without
What if they
LeBron.
came 10th in the
Do you
West last
understand
year?
what I'm saying?
Okay,
They are playing the Western teams more.
the Lakers won 37 without LeBron
Yeah,
last
the
year.
Lakers won 30.
The Lakers won 37 without LeBron. So how, you can't tell me they can't win 8 to 10 more games
No, but
with
team,
LeBron.
But first of all, teams are gonna. People were going in there thinking to run over.
Who's better?
Every team was.
Minnesota, Houston's worse. Golden State got better with DeMarcus.
Every team in the West got better.
New Orleans lost DeMarcus. Lost DeMarcus.
Yeah,
They're
but
not
they
any
got
better.
You're doing the same thing
It's
like
not
when
that-
people
there
think
wasn't
that
much.
you're doing the same thing where people think the Raptors' record is good when they don't understand the semantics. When they played the Lakers, nobody thought they were good. Now that LeBron's in town, they're all going to be playing their A game. Don't think because LeBron got there, you're going to jump up 20 wins. The games are going to be more difficult because they are going to play harder against the Lakers.
So what record do you think that with LeBron
How
on the
many
team?
wins,
How
huh?
many wins?
Okay, I'm only listen.
I'm telling you.
I'm giving a number that's kind of high, but the only reason I'm giving this number is because I know the rest will help them. I say about 40.
The Reps
40
are how many
wins.
regular
That means they go under
season?
500.
500?
Oh, sorry, you're
that's
right.
not very high.
40. They're not gonna hit 50. That's all I can say. They will not hit 50 wins.
I
Okay,
disagree.
but you can go.
But,
But you'll see. And you'll see what happens with the Lakers. Are going to need more help, and that's what they're going to beg to get Kawhi Leonard, right? That's the only way because they're going to stink. And then
They just
Kawhi-
signed. They also just signed
Wow.
Beasley, so they'll have some. They'll have
He's
some
up and
offense.
down.
Beasley,
Can't control himself
Rondo, Stevenson,
McGee.
they'll be tough to play against.
Stevenson only shows up.
McGee,
Rondo plays good.
Plus
when he's in the
Ingram's going
playoffs.
to be better, and
They have no
Lonzo's
shooters.
got to be
The
better.
problem is they have no shooters, right?
Rondo's a playoff player, not regular season. And he'll complain
Rondo
the ball,
Rondo
hit
be
the
a
ball.
decent-
Are you a Rondo fan?
Needs to be
I
back
think
in
he's a
Boston.
good
I think they'll be a pretty decent team. Top 5 in the West.
Who?
Let's get
The
the
Lakers.
Lakers. Well, that's
Top 5 in the
the West. I think like we'll have to do a preview show going down in a month or so. But I wanna I guess finish off with the Raptors. We didn't talk about Danny Green either. I know that you're not a fan of him. I'm not really sure why. I think for a role player, if he's your 5th best starter, he's a pretty good player.
Sure.
At that position, he can still guard like 3 positions. He's obviously a capable 3-point shooter. So if he can average like 12 points for you, 13 points as a starter,
He's gotten worse the last couple of years, but at the end of the day,
That's some
still,
injuries,
you know, the Raptors haven't had a really good 3-point threat in a while. I mean, CJ was on and off, and it's not a terrible move. He'll probably start. One
he
of
can
the,
definitely start. I guess he replaces. Actually, you know what? I'm not even sure because I guess Kawhi's going to be the small forward. You bring OG off the bench now. What do? Danny Green's coming in to start, right?
So
I
who's the
don't-
2 guard?
Danny Green.
Hmm.
And then
Yeah.
Kawhi's at the 3. Maybe OG comes off the bench now, or do they play small and grow with bring a Bach off the bench and start OG at the
I
4?
would start OG considering that kid needs minutes and
And
Ibaka's
OG's
not going to do much.
They can
anyways.
play small ball. OG's definitely big enough to play the
I
power
guess it all
forward
depends
and
on
guard
how
them.
Nick Nurse sees it, right? That's another situation there, but I don't know. Like to me, the team's better than what it was last year, and they won 59 last year.
And
So
I feel like most of the East also got
not
better.
not better than last year.
I just don't understand you guys. Kawhi, like, even and I think he will eventually, but once he gets his groove, you can't sit out a year, and if there's an injury, I don't personally believe he's as hurt as people are saying. I think he can go, but we'll see what happens.
I mean, he's
But
going
you're
to
still doubting him.
He's going to be at U.S. basketball
No, I
in a
think he's a
couple
good
weeks.
player. I'm saying even if he was, let's say he was the healthy guy
Yeah.
that was in the Spurs who never got hurt. I think he's good, but we don't know what the culture is. Like, to me, DeRozan started getting worse when the culture started getting bad in Toronto.
So is Kawhi the best player in the East?
Competition would be like Kyrie, Giannis, Joel Embiid, Simmons. Like that's his competition of the East, right?
Yeah.
Better than
No,
Giannis.
a
Better
healthy
than Kyrie?
Kawhi, the healthy Kawhi, I only think Durant is really better than him. I like him better than
So there you
he's
go.
a,
So if
LeBron's
he's
a little bit
healthy-
of a better scorer.
If he's healthy, then
So
how
in
can you say
your
the Raptors
opinion-
have no shot?
In your opinion, the Raptors had the 2nd best player in the NBA, and you still don't think that they can even come. You don't think that they have a shot to be.
You'll see what I'm seeing when the game starts. I notice not to argue when people don't see what I'm seeing.
Hold on. What about, let's just say this though. What about let's say that the Raptors didn't get Kawhi and they got KD. You think the Raptors or is Boston
That's
unstoppable in the
different.
East?
That's different because the way that Kevin Durant, a big difference. The way that Kevin Durant is, give me the ball, I'll do the scoring, and just stay with me. Kawhi can score, but he plays within like a certain offense, and he scores. So it's different. Kawhi is like KD is like almost like an Iverson. Kind of almost get out of my way, not really, but kind of get out of my way and just follow
But
me.
the Raptors' biggest problem in the playoffs is that
No go-to guy.
They end up with no go-to, and they play terrible defense in the playoffs. It seems, and to me, if you're getting the best
KD can play
defensive
defense too.
player
but
in the league, you're
That absolutely,
That's the
but one
thing,
difference
like-
too. I
yeah.
didn't say they're not. I'm not saying it, but I'm saying that
that
I don't
probably
know.
helps.
I told you. Remember how I hated the Raptors and I said the way that they're playing,
Yeah,
and
you
I
like
started
the way
with
they're
the way they're playing. So what I'm saying is that the way that you play can mean everything. I don't doubt what Kawhi will do, and maybe he'll get his numbers. But I'm saying is that I don't know what Lowry's gonna do. I don't know how they're gonna play. I don't know who this new coach what he's gonna do. It's not just you add a player. That's what Cleveland always does. You add a bunch of players, and when it doesn't work out, they suck, and LeBron needs help. It's not that. You're gonna see what these guys do. All these guys that you guys say suck. Even Wade. Look how Wade transformed from day and night from Cleveland when he went back to Miami and started playing.
Rejuvenated.
Day and night.
Yeah.
Rejuvenated.
Back
Because
home.
You're away
no,
from that
that's nothing to do
negative
with home.
energy
It's
or
the
whatever
playing.
it
It's
is.
the way you're playing. You're playing like a bum with LeBron and them. You have to stay on the side, and now you're playing basketball. There's a difference. Kawhi is gonna do him, but I don't know if you guys think. Yeah, Derrick
Rose when
did
he
good
left,
things.
like
He went
people
to-
want. He went to Minnesota and
He played
he was
good
no
with
MVP, much better than in
much better, especially in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Rubio, who I love, I don't know why the thing got rid of him. In Utah, he's amazing. I think it's just I'm not saying that Kawhi's not going to do Kawhi.
You just
I'm not
think
saying
for the
that,
system,
but you
yeah.
guys think that Kawhi doing Kawhi is going to translate into okay, DeRozan So DeRozan's this. Let's say it's a video game. DeRozan's a 90 and Kawhi's 97. So if we have 59 wins, then because of that ratio, it's not like that.
It's not really like
It's
that,
not
but
like
the
that at all.
team's better.
But what I was gonna
in
say,
a sense.
It
That's what
doesn't
I'm
matter,
saying.
yeah. Like you said about the Derozan before, regular season wins don't matter. This
Yeah, it
team
don't matter.
finishes third or fourth. You
Matter,
guys,
we've seen
he's
all
got a
that
bit
stuff.
better. Yeah, we know that the regular season doesn't matter. It's more so the playoffs. When the playoff comes, is this team better equipped to play playoff basketball? When it
Yeah,
slows down. I
Yeah.
think that's an easy yes.
Of course.
From the defensive side, and even with
Oh,
Kawhi, like you watch him play, like
If he stays.
you're well, no, even just in the 1 year, like if there's an off, if not off, he's off ball, and the guy's coming in, he strips the ball, he just helps, he gives that confidence level goes on another level when he's on the
built
floor.
for the playoffs. DeRozan was not built for the playoffs.
Yeah, like you have a Finals MVP, right? And I know that you guys know all this stuff, but I think that it's being,
Again,
it's not being taken into account as strong as it should be.
I would have been against the deal if they had given up Siakam or Anunoby or like gotten.
But even I guess so. But another question I have for Raptors fans and you guys: you look at any of these bench guys. What's the ceiling for them? They're not all stars. Like let's be honest. OG, Pascal, we know basketball.
They're not-
Like these are not all star
They're not
potential
all
guys.
stars, but they're also not guys that, for a likely, like he said, which I agree with him at the end of the day, a likely 1 year rental. You don't trade guys that can likely start for you down the road. I can tell you right now, the Spurs. I guarantee you that the deal took so long because the Spurs
They're holding
didn't
up.
want Jakob. They wanted one of the other two, and the Raptors were not willing to give them up. Because I think Pascal in time can be not an all-star,
What he's
a
gonna do.
solid,
That was
a
a
What do you
solid
think he's going to be?
starter,
I like him.
a
What do you
solid
think he's gonna be?
starter, a solid starter in the league. I
A
think
solid
OG
starter. I
I think
agree with
OG is
that.
going to be a solid starter. And
Yeah.
when you're rebuilding, those are the guys you need. No offense to Jakob, but he was like the one guy that out of the young guys that I probably would have been. Well, maybe one of the point guards I might not have been too mad at either because there might not be
Yeah.
enough space for them all. But I think Jakob was like really the spare part in all those five guys in my opinion.
Great. What do you
Okay,
see?
so remember when we had that argument and he said Steve Kerr
It's
was
not
a
an
star?
argument. It's a debate.
No, remember, yeah, debate. Remember, and he,
It was better than
remember,
Corver, which is
Yeah,
the
because
which is
of
the
the
finals.
He put that in Corver, and Kerr was that, but he sees it that way because the Raptors were a good team and he was a good piece. So even if he didn't watch a lot of the games, his mind
Not
translated
stats.
into thinking he was something. Because stats-wise, Kerr was absolutely nothing. But he was a good player that can shoot threes. And he's you pulled it off.
Best 3-point shooter in the league history.
remember when he showed the stats?
Yeah.
He's never averaged
His
more than
field-
6 points a game. What
His
does it
field
matter?
goal percentage was the highest
never
all time.
averaged six
He only
points
shoots
a
when he's
game.
wide open.
Come
Okay,
on.
get to your point. Get to your
How
point.
many shots was he gonna get play on that Bulls team?
I asked you.
Let's be real.
Okay, I asked you who was the name a guy besides
Rodman.
Rodman and Pippen, and you said Kerr, a guy who hasn't averaged more than
Okay.
8 points in his career, and you talked about him like he was a superstar.
I think he was a superstar.
No, because
he
what
was,
your
he was a
debate
3-point
was-
specialist,
your deba-
and he was very
Our
good at it.
debate
Not
was
a
that they were.
superstar.
Our debate was that
It
they
was
were.
Kyle Korver or him. I
Our,
would take
deba-
Steve
our
Kerr.
debate was that the team was stacked. So when I ask you for a player outside of those Hall of Famers, the first name that comes out of your mouth is an 8-point per game,
There was
guy
Harper,
to
there was
prove-
Kukoc,
to
there was
prove-
other guys.
to prove
That's
that they're a
what came to
superstar.
mind.
Okay, so you're
BJ
fighting.
Armstrong.
The people listening will know. The people listening will know what you sound like.
Steve Kerr was a good complimentary
But here's-
piece.
Yeah, but I think everybody takes Kyle Korver with him eyes closed.
So I'm not really debating. I'm saying that the Bulls are not a super team.
No.
But we'll skip that.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
point
I'll
I'm
get
trying
back
to
to Pascal.
make-
Yeah.
So the point I'm trying to make is when with the Raptors and Pascal, who I really love, and you're gonna see what happens with the Spurs, is when Indiana lost Paul George, everybody was thinking rebuild. Victor Oladipo and certain pieces, I think they brought Lance back. They were able to do something where they were scary. When Hayward left, people were thinking rebuild.
I wasn't.
Then Mitchell started blowing up, and they have pieces. Rubio comes. People think that if you don't get stars, that you can't still transcend into something if you have those
You
riders.
won't win a championship, but you can be very competitive.
No, but you can have a team that is competitive until you get that one guy. So what I'm saying is that Porto is one of those riders that we could have had.
Poto or Pascal? Oh, Poto.
Which
Purdo.
one you
The one that went to
The center?
San Antonio.
Yeah, okay.
Paul
Purdo.
Jakob?
Yeah, Purdo. Yeah,
I thought they liked Siakam though.
No, I like those guys,
You like
but I like the guy, the
Oh,
best that went to
you
the
like the
Spurs.
center.
The
Purdo.
center, the white guy who went to the Spurs.
Okay.
I like
don't
him
know
the
about
most.
Siakam.
No, I like
You liked
him.
him the most?
I love. You'll see what he. You will
I'm
see
not-
what he
I'm-
does in San Antonio.
I like him
That's
because
perfect,
I feel like I said with him, what I was saying in the group, I like that he provides some rim protection on and with that bench unit that we saw this whole season. I don't think it was the starters that set the Raptors apart. It was that when the bench came in, they
Yeah.
were on a different level.
Yeah.
And Pascal and
Big one.
Pirtle would keep, especially Pirtle, would get so many offensive rebounds. If you look at Pirtle's highlight, it's shot goes up, he gets the rebound, puts it back in. puts
Sure.
it back in.
Sure.
A lot of layups and easy buckets. It's not glamorous, but he's gonna help the Spurs a lot.
But his ceiling's not better than OG's or Siakam's.
I kind of agree because he's a center and the league is transitioning.
Yeah,
but what
he's-
I'm telling you guys and
He
what I'm
can't shoot the three. The centers that can't shoot the three in this league are dying out.
He can hit a mid-range. He was guarding LeBron. Watch the playoff highlights. How many times he
He
guarded
was
LeBron?
guarding LeBron?
No, not
He was
on the
trying-
switch. Not on
he
the
was
switch.
trying to guard
Not on the
LeBron.
switch. Are you crazy?
Trying
I'm gonna
to
watch
guard
that again.
LeBron.
He did a good job.
I don't think he did.
what I'm just saying is
I remember
Pascal.
bust him up and he fly. Anyway.
Pascal and OG, to get back to my point, is just I think that they're really solid players, but
They're starters.
they're fifth, fourth, fifth on a good team. They're fifth starter,
Sure.
right? And like I said, that being said, if you're gonna get a superstar now, the 1 year term is one thing that you don't want to give it up for 1 year of a guy. But I'm not super high. Like if we would have lost OG in a trade period, not that one, I would have been like, yeah, it sucks to see him go, but
So would you have rather dealt the other two instead of Jakob? See, I personally think the ceiling on the other two are higher than Jakob.
Combined. That's
No,
not
no, both of them are higher.
yeah, like I said,
think OG
I
could be
think
a
that's
really
more
good
so just
player.
based on the
Same with
position.
Siakam.
fair. Like
I was-
singly, like would you trade?
Would you
if they
have
asked-
traded OG or Siakam instead?
Which one would you want?
Just one of them.
Yeah.
I would have rather kept the other two and Del Paul.
And I'm not super high on DeLon Red either. I know that defensively
Well,
he's
DeLon
pretty
I like
solid.
him, boy.
A lot of people
I
like
like
him. I
him.
just don't know what they like. Like yeah,
I like him.
he can't really. He's improved. I don't want to say.
Fred.
Like you want to talk about ceilings? All those guys, like I said, in their best case scenarios, I think are like fourth starters on a good team.
Sure,
right?
I'm not saying they're going to be all-stars, but for a rebuild,
Yeah.
they're nice pieces.
You don't need all stars. You need a team.
No,
You don't
exactly.
need-
But I just feel like the Raptors have a lot, especially now. They have like 4 or 5 guys that are young that are fringe starters, fringe 6 men.
I've seen
Either 6
spurts
men or
from
fringe starters.
Siakam, and OG not as much because OG hasn't been in the league as all. I've seen spurts from Siakam that tell me that he can go to the next level.
I
as
think
a player.
Siakam has more promise than OG. To be honest.
Siakam has can be a
Do
really
you
good
think?
player.
Do you think Baines from Boston is a good player?
He's a good role
He's a
player.
good role
yeah.
Yeah, a very good. He's not going to All-Star team.
No.
But they let him go because that guy's a guy you want on your basketball team.
And I compare him to those
Starting
two
All-Star
others
team.
guys.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I don't think we should lose any
You
of them,
need
but
them
we
on
had
the team.
to.
You
Yeah.
need some guys, yeah.
These are not guys.
Baines was in San Antonio for a bit too.
Yeah, they had
They
the
had to
championship.
get rid of him.
We're gonna. Any last thoughts here on the Raptors, Kawhi? Anything before we take a quick break and jump into the rest of the NBA? Any last thoughts on that?
No, I mean, DeMar's Instagram stuff to me that kind of shows, I don't know, his weakness a little bit.
Yeah, I
I
thought
seems
so,
so
too.
very petty.
Yeah.
I don't understand that, but it is what it is.
The emojis, right?
The emojis, the hand thing.
Yeah, you
Don't
saw it,
guarantee
right?
that
Yeah.
he's gonna get traded in. Not gonna get traded in summer league. And I don't think Masai would have said anything.
He did,
like
that's
He
that.
did, and he apologized, and that was the only thing that I didn't like. Honestly,
I
that was
like that.
No, I didn't like that he apologized after, which was great, but I didn't like that he did that. That he did say we're gonna
Okay,
keep
yeah.
you, and then he changed on his
Well,
word, right?
Well, he said that he told them that what they saw for him in the future.
Yeah,
he,
yeah.
he didn't say we're not gonna keep
Yeah.
you.
Obviously, there was some disconnect, is what I'm getting.
Yeah.
When you get offered a trade, it
Well,
all
what-
came together. He's got to change his mind. That's business.
That's true. But one thing I'll say, and it's the same thing I said. It's the same thing I said about Wiggins. I think on this show when he first came as a rookie, and you asked me if I was sold on him. I said that I'm going to determine if I like him if when he goes back to Cleveland, he goes off on Cleveland because LeBron got him traded.
Okay.
If DeRozan, and I'm going for the yes. I'm betting on the yes. So
Maybe
if he
we can
fails,
have a big
whatever.
game,
If he doesn't go, I'm not saying go bananas, but if he doesn't play like with a chip on his shoulder in San Antonio, and on top of it, if he doesn't come back to Air Canada Center and score at least 29 plus, then he's proving to me, because when he comes back here, that's equivalent to a Game 7 playoff game.
Yeah.
I mean, not an NBA Finals, but a Game 7, whatever
Right.
round. He better come here and produce. If you come here and give me 18, 17 points, and you're proving to me you're still not a playoff player, you need it.
Do you want to make any predictions on this?
My interesting point is that
a win.
in that pop system, it'll go one of two ways. Either DeRozan will excel and become a much better player than what he's been, especially on the
Well, you
defensive
can't be
end.
much better, but yeah.
But to
Defensively.
me, that's going to be a problem because all those pop teams usually are pretty stellar defensively. If he has his problems doing that, he can really sink in that system, in my opinion. But we'll see what
No,
he
but
does.
when I say
He's not a
average-
good defender at all.
No,
he's,
but Pop will
he's
help
bad.
out. Yeah, that's true. But
And again, 9 years in the league, I don't know how much help you can really do.
no, but the
Go
way
ahead,
that Pop, his system is, to me, averaging 19, 20 is to me good enough.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
care about his average. I'm talking about when he comes here
Mhm.
for the first time in this environment where they're going to be cheering for him, no one's going to be booing for him, and it's a big playoff game. He's mad at the GM, all this kind of stuff.
Mhm.
I'll feel that handshake. If he doesn't come here
'Cause
and
Vince
get at
and
least
Tracy did.
28, yeah, exactly. If he doesn't come with that
Vincent
mentality
Tracy
like
did
him,
that, right?
Well, that's how they were.
if you check your lifetime average,
But I'm guessing Kawhi gives him a couple of blocks.
That's what I was gonna say. I want a quick prediction because I don't want to run too much cameras. A few things I was gonna say here. DeMar DeRozan, I wrote motivation. Love DeMar, like I said before. He doesn't have the killer instinct. He doesn't have. And I was gonna say, if you ever need a motivation as a professional basketball player, it's a team that. And there's no other situations. We were talking about loyalty in the trade. What player has been with a team for 9 years that has been that? I don't want to say unsuccessful in playoffs. That unsuccessful in a playoff run that has been traded. And I can't think of anybody that's lasted that long because they moved them a long time before, right?
Yeah.
So, anyways, getting back to that, he has all the motivation in the world right now. So if he doesn't have a monster season and transform, I don't know if you can change your character. His game, maybe, I'm not sure. I think DeMar is going to be pretty status quo going there. He might improve a little bit defensively because he's going to be motivated. Other than that, I was going to say he doesn't have that Mamba mentality either, which we all know. Right, like something like Kyrie. Kyrie has that. Oladipo has that.
I feel for him.
Absolutely.
I feel for him in a sense because he's had a rough year. Dad's sick, mom's sick, broke up with his girlfriend, wife, or whatever it was. He's had he's had a really rough year. Suffers through depression.
No, but you look at it.
He's
I'll give him a
had-
pass, but like last year, 8 years instead of 9. It's the same kind of thing, right? Like we talked
I
about
guess.
that.
or you're saying that's why he might not do good when he comes here.
I don't know if he'll come to. I just think he's had a pretty rough year. I feel bad for him in that. I don't feel
For
the
sure,
organization is
yeah.
disloyal to him. I feel bad because he's had a rough year in general in life.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I'm not talking about all I'm saying is no matter what you're going through, I don't. If you come here and with Kawhi guarding you, if you can give me. Kawhi's the best defender, and he's going to be on it maybe not all the time because there's subs and all that kind of stuff. If you don't give me 28 plus, you're telling me that even if we kept you, you would have choked in the playoffs. That's all I know.
Vince killed the Raptors. So I was there for that game. He
Yeah,
put up 45.
Every time, not once.
I-
Every time.
Well, I was there for that game.
The Nets game.
They do
Yeah,
diapers
the
out
old-
of-
yeah, the-
Every time.
Yeah, the one where you had the reverse dunk in overtime.
Oh,
Yeah, and I remember
oh
watching that
my
game.
gosh.
I was just gonna say because we're gonna end this and go to the NBA. Predicting, I was just gonna quickly predict when he comes back, when the Spurs come here. If Kawhi's guarding him, when I've said this before, DeMar's always struggled with athletic and long defenders, and Kawhi is. I didn't watch Scottie Pippen, right? Kawhi's the best wing defender I've seen in my life, and I don't think that DeMar's good. Like that's DeMar's arch enemy, and
That's why your prediction is going to be a little bit.
I think he might get embarrassed. If Kawhi wants to lock him down, like he did to LeBron in the finals when he won, he will embarrass DeMar DeRozan. That's why I'll kind of feel sorry for him. But DeMar's still, huh?
It's not a one-on-one basketball game.
No, it's not. But I'm just saying, when he's guarded by him, right? Like he can embarrass anybody, not just DeMar. He can embarrass anybody. We're gonna take a quick break, come back, finish up on the rest of the NBA free agency signings on the block. Just wanted to check the minutes, how much time do you guys have as well?
We only got about 10, 11 minutes left.